So I am low-key considering doing CourseCareers. My child won't be here for a couple days. I'm thinking Friday. I'm aiming for Friday to finish. Some people have completed it within a week, 2 weeks. I'm trying to crash this within, today's Tuesday. For real, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And see how I could bust this out. So I'm gonna be doing every step of the way. I'm using CourseCareers, and I'm gonna do the introductory course, see how it is, and then pay for it. It's $499, but I'm about to use this coupon code from this girl that I seen on YouTube. Gonna make $100 and start it right there. Welcome to my world. My name is Ajane. I am so hyped to be sharing with you an opportunity to make between $60,000 to $65,000 to 6 figures. No college degree necessary. It all depends on you. So a little quick backstory about what led me to CourseCareers and why I knew immediately that it would fit perfectly for my lifestyle. I was a real estate agent in New York. 2018. My grandfather, he passed away. 2 years later, I kind of finally started grieving. 2 months after, my son's father passed away. 4 months after, his little brother passed away. There was a lot of hurt for me in New York. So in 2021, the next year, I booked my ticket for 4 days later, hopped on a plane, and I left everything that I know from my life, pretty much. So 2022 is when I kind of I realized that I had been depressed for the last 4 years. Wake up 4 years later and feel like your whole world is completely different. You don't have the same people around you, you're in a whole different environment. One of the hardest things for me to, take in is the fact that I was depressed for 4 years and didn't even realize that I was depressed. I didn't even know that there was a such thing as being a functional depressed person. I had never been depressed in my whole entire life, so I didn't even know what depression felt like, what it looked like from my own perspective. But I just know that one day I woke up, and I'm just learning that this is an actual thing, probably less than a week ago. I'm learning that something called, well, first let me just go into what I was feeling, then I'll term it. I'll put the term on it. But it was a few times, it was just so dark for me. And it was a few times that I woke up and I opened my eyes, and the first thing I thought, damn, this shit again. And I'm just like, hold on. And then for me to look, my whole life reality situation, and look over to my son, and I'm like, oh nah, bugging. What are you talking about? And again, I never felt suicidal. I didn't feel like I was suicidal, anything. That's one thing I would say. I didn't feel like I wanted to hurt myself, but the fact that I'm not sure how suicidal thoughts start. I'm unsure how that works and how that goes. But what I do know is that I don't believe that somebody just wakes up and think and correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think that people wake up and just say, hey, I want to kill myself. Or I don't believe that people just wake up one day and just say, hey, I want to hurt myself. I'm thinking that it's over time, it escalates in that person's mind over time. Maybe not, I'm not sure. But what I do know is that when I felt that, waking up, oh God, this again, and I'm just waking up and not with my eyes, and that is what I'm feeling, I knew, you gotta get some help. You gotta heal. You gotta figure this out. And that was step 1 for me. I did say I was gonna term it. I believe this may be the same thing. I never really looked further into it, but this may be the same thing that I was experiencing, but it's called passive suicidal. So it's you don't desire to hurt yourself, but you kind of don't care if you die, kind of thing. And for me to wake up to life, life is a great, live life in abundance. I love my son, I love my family, so, but for me to wake up and feel immediately the first thing on your mind is dang, have they? Like, you know, like that is not okay. So first things first, I was like, you know what, I gotta heal. That was the start of my healing journey with God. I don't want to make this whole thing like so sad, but my biggest takeaway from depression is that you should never underestimate what you mean to your loved ones. So after my healing process and getting in my GODyard bag, you heard my GODyard bag. Okay. All right. So now here's the good stuff. So now, happily healed me, I'm thinking, okay, God, what's next? Let's not forget that I then moved away from my family. The support is still there. Don't get it twisted. But I moved away from my family. I'm a homeschooling single mom. So God, like, what's next? What is next? So that's when I came across CourseCareers. I watched 3 videos and I was sold. At first I thought tech sales. I don't know anything about tech, you know, regular, but I know something about sales, so let's check it out. The first video I watched was of Paris Smith, and then it was of Reen Hawthorne, and then Anthony O'Neill interviewed Cyrus Harvin. Sorry about this, messed up any of you guys' names. But yes, I was sold. I took the intro course and I'm like, you know what, I could do this. So the technology course teaches about technology, business to business sales. Typically you start off with a SDR, that's a sales development representative role, or BDR, and that's a business development representative role. I've seen people get hired that for account executives after taking the course, depending on your background. Account management, you can take the course at your own pace, and that worked perfectly for me considering I do homeschool my child. I love that they have a community on Discord and LinkedIn where you can practice with other students there, you can ask questions, you can whatever it is, it's just a whole bunch of information. There's a lot of support, a strong support community in Discord. Also on LinkedIn as well, but Discord is like a little bit more personal because you meet up on certain days, but virtually you meet up on certain days and you just go over like a whole bunch of material. The course was $500. I paid $450 with someone else's $50 off code. I'll be placing my $50 off code in my description. Start off a job and earn between 60 to 65 minimum back. Come on, I done spent my money on way worse things. So that was nothing. And there's a payment plan. I'm not sure if I mentioned that, but there's a payment plan also. So as I was doing the course, I started to realize that kind of had a little hustle to it, and I love that. I think that's the biggest thing when it came to real estate with me in real estate. I love the hustle part of it. So with all of these things, I'm like, you know what, I could do this. This is what I'm definitely gonna do. Check it out, we're gonna see. I learned a lot from the course. What I want to say is that even if you are in sales, or you don't have to necessarily be selling, you don't necessarily have to sell technology. I think this is a great course just to pick up some additional skills or brush up on the skills that you already know. They go over buyer personas, sales pipeline, CRM, that's customer relationship management. I brushed up on my resume skills. Oh my God, like so I have to be honest. So I think that my resume skills are good. You know what I'm saying? I think they're good. But after taking a course, I started to put, instead of my duties, like what I do is like my results. And I didn't really think about it like that. And maybe that was like a no-brainer for people, but I've been just in the past getting jobs who just saying, hey, this is what I did. Not necessarily my results, not necessarily numbers and things of that nature. But yes, I would suggest to take the course, even if you don't want to do tech sales, but you in sales, because it will teach you a lot. It taught me a lot about LinkedIn annually. First things first, I have to say this. LinkedIn, I had LinkedIn forever, never used it. Probably, I had LinkedIn forever, never used it. But every year they give you like a free annual trial. And I went ahead and did it this time. And oh my God, I loved it. But the course goes over LinkedIn too. And you get courses during your, if you get membership, like if you get the special memberships, the premium plan and others, it comes with like where you can take the courses. With my free trial, just this time, I've been taking courses and I love it. So I think I have to look back at the video. I think I started the course March 14-ish. Maybe before then. I started in March something. Alright, so it's a horrible thing that March 7th, March 8th, I said that I was going to start the tech sales course, and I didn't start. So today is, hold on, I'm just looking at it. Today is March 15th. A week later, I didn't start. So I'm sitting here like, all right, I'm gonna start tomorrow, I'm gonna start tomorrow, I'm gonna start tomorrow, I'm gonna sign up, I'm gonna start tomorrow. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm about to clean. I can start today, like right now. That makes no sense that a week later I haven't started. So follow my journey, no waiting for tomorrow. I have a great feeling about it, so I'm gonna do it. It took me about a week and a half to go through it. And during that week and a half, I already had started applying for jobs. A few, just a few. Then I got distracted, so that's gonna be a whole other thing. I got distracted and I stopped doing it. I just stopped. When I went ahead and decided to pick back up where I left off, I went through the course again, just real briefly. I went through the course briefly and I started applying, but I took 2 approaches. So my first approach was massive approach. That is when you kind of don't read the description. You just filter out what you're looking for and you go through it. So I did, if I was in New York, I would do hybrid or on-site, and I did some remote. But other than that, then I just did strictly remote if I wasn't planning to go back to New York. I did 6 figures because I was like banking. I'm like, I'm gonna get my 6 figures, but I did 6 figures and I did quick apply, so I won't have to necessarily. You just kind of like click and do the application. That was that. My target approach was more like my interest in my background. So I did like Afro tech, like African American owned tech companies. I did that. I did since I homeschool, I did homeschooling and education. So that's ed tech. And then I did real estate and business. So that's like, it kind of falls into like fintech. So I did those types of targeting, that type of targeting approach. Now, some people would say that the first approach, the massive approach, depending on who you ask or who you speak to, who states this, they think that the massive approach is bad and it wastes other people's time. But listen, I'm here to tell you, you're not on the world's time, you're on God's time. That's just that. So I want to say off of a length, and these are just like off the top of my head, and within 2 weeks, I did a minimum of 2,000 applications. I did about 20 to 30 interviews. I want to say that between those 20 to 30 interviews, and like I said, these are like off the top of my head estimates of how much I think I did. My first couple of ones, they were rusty. I haven't interviewed in so long, so I was rusty. So no brainer, I didn't get the job. My second, I kind of changed from hybrid and on-site, and I was like, you know what, I'm just doing remote because I do like to travel back and forth. So I'm like, you know what, let me just strictly remote, and also like remote where I can work from anywhere. I don't want to really be tied down. So that was like a huge thing for me as well. So I had some of the interviews that I did that they did call me back, gave me offers. It was like, okay. So that was the second thing. And some they just ghost me. They ghost me. That was crazy. They ghost me, or they didn't want to move forward or whatever. But what I will say is that out of all of this, I do have 2 offers, and I have an interview next week, so I'll be making my choice. I was able to better negotiate my terms because I used a LinkedIn course that kind of like had me brush up on my negotiation salary skills. So that's a great thing. That was a big plus for me. But overall, great course. I highly recommend it, especially if you're in any type of sales. The founder, Troy Buckhold, oh my God, did an amazing job with this course. The instructor, Trent Dressel, and if I said you guys' name wrong, please, my bad. Amazing instructor as well, and I love that he personally was getting back to me when I did have a few concerns. So yes, definitely try the course. Even if you do the introductory course and you see what's that like, definitely try the course. And last thing, put God